Yes, it's just didn't even recognize the photos of
That's all.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reverend Wendy Yabotsky. I'm about to begin the service, and I am going to ask that you please confirm that your cell phone is off, on silent, or vibrate. The purpose being that we keep our attention here at this important and meaningful time. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. So to begin our time together, we have a beautiful song sung by Andrea Bocelli in tribute to how we are here together this afternoon. It is titled Time to Say Goodbye. Let's listen to its message. So welcome, family and friends. It's my great privilege today to be here with you, beloved family and friends of Deborah Carter. Deborah Ann Carter was gifted to this world on April 20th, 1967, at the young age of 56, having fought a courageous battle with cancer. Deborah, being who she was, did everything possible, mentally and physically, to arrest this disease, but it was not to be. And while it can seem and feel like there is nothing that you or I can do for her now, and on the physical level, this is true, what we can do is remember what we learned through her and carry it forward, keeping her spirit alive in our hearts, living the love, the wisdom, and the example that she set throughout your time together. Deborah's passing was peaceful, surrounded by loving families Steve, Cindy, and Dennis. And on behalf of Steve and all of Deborah's family, thank you deeply for being here today and for your support in this difficult time. 5 years ago, Deborah grieved the loss of her mother, Joan. And now, Deborah's loved ones are grieving the loss of Deborah, her father, Dave, her daughter, Alyssa, and her partner, Steve. Without a doubt, all here grieve the loss of Deborah. As part of the healing process, in the time following this service, we are here to share with family and each other stories and fond memories of Deborah's life and to support each other as we feel all kinds of feelings. During this sad and yet love-filled time, we come together to remember, honor, and celebrate the life and living of a truly wonderful and, in fact, amazing woman. We come together in this time that I trust is still seeming and feeling surreal. This time of loss of Deborah as daughter, mother, partner, sister, aunt, coach, official, friend, and supporter. On the human level, there is truly no way to know how this had to be. Deborah was truly a good woman who gave so much to others. But in truth, it doesn't matter to the universe particularly that we are good. What does matter, though, and what is important, is that Deborah lived her best goodness, the best life that she valued. This is what she did, and this is what she leaves with us. May the following scriptural reading, meaningful to Deborah, help each of us to some degree in ways that are right for each of us. It is Ecclesiastes 3, and it says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Let's see Deborah, having lived her time and purpose fully, and is now at peace from the very difficult health condition through which she left this earth. And now, in honor of Deborah, and in just some of the goodness that she lived, we have a special candle that will be lit in honor of her work with athletes and officials. And so to do this honor, to light this candle, I invite forward her daughter, Alyssa Carter, accompanied by Tessa Borsoy. Thank you both so very much. A beautiful reading by A.J. Stanley titled One at Rest speaks to how Deborah would think and how she would care and want to support us here today and further. And this is what it says. Think of me as one at rest. For me, you should not weep. I have no pain, no troubled thoughts, for I am just asleep. The living, thinking me that was is now forever still, and life goes on without me now, as time forever will. If your heart is heavy now, because I've gone away, dwell not long upon it, friend, for none of us can stay. Those of you who liked me, I sincerely thank you all. And those of you who loved me, I thank you most of all. And in my fleeting lifespan, as time went rushing by, I found some time to hesitate, to laugh, to love, to cry. Matters it now if time began or if time will ever cease? I was here. I used it all. And now I am at peace. And now to share with us the eulogy for Deborah's life, I invite her adopted sister, Cindy Borsoy, to come forward and to share with us. Cindy?
Debbie was born in Quesnel, BC, to Joan and Dave Carter. They later moved to the Lower Mainland, where Deb finished school. Dave was heavily involved in Boy Scouts, and he started the first co-ed scouting group in the Lower Mainland, allowing the family to spend more time together. This took them on many adventures, including attending huge scouting jamborees. In later years, Steve and Deb discovered that they had both been at the same events, although their lives did not cross at that time. Scouting also provided Deb with the opportunity to meet Her Royal Highness, the Queen Elizabeth, and started her passion in following the royal family. Dave explained that from an infant, Deb was focused and determined. She would not be satisfied until she solved a problem or sorted something out. This served her well and continued in her whole life. Anyone that met Deb quickly recognized how organized she lived in all aspects of her life. She kept binders full of spreadsheets, details, processes, and receipts. As we went through her office, we found every cruise or trip she had taken, detailing down to what taxi to call, how long it would take to get to the airport, and the cost for every excursion that they took. Her organization and attention to details served her well in many aspects of her life and was an incredible strength. For her coaching, she had the times of each athlete for every competition and what they identified together as their goals for the year. These details became very valuable for anyone lucky enough to be stepping into her Special Olympics coaching role. Her organizational skills were appreciated in her recent transition into BC Athletics, where she created a handbook that she in turn used to orient others learning the position. This was a way of life for Deb, and whenever you asked her about it, she would giggle and ask, was there any other way? For any of those lucky enough to be on her Christmas gift list, I can tell you, or I can help you recall your gift from her back to 2015. In the process of reviewing photos, every binder was organized by year and literally thousands of photos. And let's be honest here, mostly Alyssa's life. Experiences lovingly captured by Deb. It was awesome to know that they will preserve memories for many years ahead. In the process of organizing her desk, we also discovered her bucket list. Many people refer to having items that they would like to do in their life as their bucket list. But Deb had a 100-item documented list and highlighted the items as she completed them. This list was both inspirational and goal-oriented. What struck me as I was looking at the list was how many things she had actually completed. She flew to Vegas to drive both a Corvette and a Lamborghini. She rushed the stage at a Kenny Rogers concert to give him roses. She kissed a stingray in the Grand Caymans. She saw Andrea Bocelli in concert several times and Oprah more than once. Of the 100 items on the list, she had less than 30 remaining. Behind her list was a list of all the countries that she had visited. The running total was 34. Deb lived her passions, and she would say the bucket list helped her track against her goals and acted as a measure of life worth living. Quite an impressive accomplishment. Deb and Steve met in 1989. After their first date was at Bridges Restaurant in Vancouver, where Steve bought her a dozen roses. As we were going through things recently, much to Steve's surprise, we discovered that Deb still had those roses, dry and lovingly displayed. In their time together, they enjoyed their passion for travel and many cruises together. Although they enjoyed their life together, Deb had a plan and was eager to start a family. Timing wasn't quite right for them both, thus they moved separate directions but always remained as friends. On February 4th, 2015, Steve described having a second first date. This led to a partnership that they built, blending their lives and returning to cruising as a family. They both described how they found their soulmate. They shared a passion for adventure, sports, cruising, quiet times in Cabo, or simply the quiet comfort of just being together. Steve, Tyson, and Alyssa, this is not how Deb wanted the story to play out. And I know a huge gap remains. She was clear that she loved each of you dearly and wanted all of you to continue to live your life to the fullest. Be there for each other. Continue to dream big goals and continue to explore the world. Deb believed in family and its many forms. When my husband Dennis and I first met Deb, we were both going through the adoption process. Deb talked about how much she wanted and looked forward to being a mom. When Alyssa was proposed to her, she instantly fell in love. Although the adoption process took more than a year to complete, Deb's love for Alyssa grew deeper by the day. Deb and I would take turns calling the orphanage each week to get updates on our kids and where things were in the process. Do you remember I mentioned Deb was organized? Well, one of the binders we found was a detailed account of the date of every phone call, every update, and every tidbit of information that one of us had gleaned from our calls, including each call when the phone line was down or busy. When Alyssa arrived at home in Canada, our families became further intertwined as we shared the adoption process, the new mom experience, and strategies to support our kids. Alyssa was quickly introduced to cruising and La Vie Haiti. It was often a planned cruise port. While most would leave the ship for a day to be on the beach, Deb made special arrangements to leave the designated guest area and arranged to spend a day at a local Haitian school. This became a passion for Deb and Alyssa, who would prepare hundreds of care packages for distribution during these visits. Deb's heart melted with pride when Alyssa spent time in the country she was born. Each visit, Deb would add to the collection of Haitian art and pictures with bright, happy colors and beautiful carved wood. She also shared many pieces with others. Liz, you are your mom's greatest accomplishment, and she both treasured and adored you. In the past 6 months of her courageous battle, we often talked about her greatest heartache of not being here for you. Liz, I hope you feel the love and the warmth of family and friends around you today, and take comfort from the legacy of love she has left behind. Nothing and no one can take her place, but it's now time for those of us around you to step up and support you moving forward. Your mom shared her wishes for you with Steve and asked Uncle Dennis to come to BC so she could share her hopes with you, with him as well. We are all here for you. Your grandfather Dave has lost another love of his life, and as your mom asked, please love and support each other. When you choose adoption, you quickly learn the bonds of family go beyond genetics or blood. 30 years ago, when we both started our adoption process, we decided to adopt each other and our families, hence my title, The Adopted Sister. Deb and Liz became part of our family traditions, celebrating birthdays, holidays, and sporting events. Our extended families referred to them as Auntie Deb and Cousin Alyssa. This family kinship extended to other areas in Deb's life, and many of the Special Olympic athletes refer to Coach Deb as Auntie Deb as well. She touched their lives beyond sport, and when she became sick, she would get daily messages encouraging their Auntie Deb to please get better. Deb began volunteering with Special Olympics early in her life. She considered a career in special education after high school and thought it would be a great way to prepare. This interest grew into a lifelong passion as her belief and values aligned as Deb viewed sport as a venue to build and grow the best in people, and the skills and knowledge learned throughout sport would transcend into personal lives. Deb had a talent for seeing the best in people, even when they didn't see it themselves, and she would work hard to help draw that out. Truths from her athletes and their families reflect the profound impact she has had on both. This year on Mother's Day, Deb received a letter from one of her athletes' moms. She wanted Deb to know the profound impact that she had had on her son's life and thought Mother's Day was the perfect opportunity to do that. Deb's ability to coach him, encourage her through his recovery, and Deb's belief in him as an athlete has had a significant impact on his life. Deb was unable to read the letter in the last few weeks because her eyes were not working as well as she had hoped. So I read this letter to Deb each day as tears rolled down my cheeks. I wanted her to know the difference she has made in the lives of others in her shortened time here on Earth. At last week's RCMP Torch Parade, another Special Olympics athlete that Deb coached spoke at the opening event, thanking his coach, Deb Carter, for all she taught him on and off the track. Deb loved Special Olympics for the opportunities for the athletes, the happiness it brought families, and they certainly loved her back. During COVID, the world suddenly shut down. However, outdoor track and field events were able to continue. Deb shifted to become an official and quickly developed confidence and competence. In a short time as an official, she was recognized by BC Athletics in the Ian McNeil Female Official of the Year Award. And despite the cancer, she was determined she was going to walk across the stage to receive that award. This became her goal as she challenged herself to walk unassisted, which eventually she did. Over the last several days, it has been heartwarming to read the tributes from across the province, reflecting on the respect of her organization, competence, and her warm smile. Deb was never motivated by public recognition or the notary associated with awards, but rather she respected the competence and the organization behind a well-run meet. She enjoyed the selfless people that she met and the caring friendships she developed. It broke her heart when the cancer interfered with her balance, ability to walk, and her vision. She lived for the excitement of track meets, and in the last month, she would rest all week in anticipation for some normalcy, for a day or two at a track meet. It didn't matter that she could not do her formal official role. However, she would lovingly get there and back, and she would do any role that she was able. Thank you on behalf of Deb and Steve, to Carol, Sue, Carol, and Mo for finding meaningful roles while adjusting to her illness. Your frequent visits, gentle ways, and caring meant the world to Deb. She included all of you within her circle she called family. We recently learned that there's going to be an event at the Canadian National Track and Field Championship in Langley held in the summer, and there will be a special event held and it will be titled in her name. I also learned today, try and hold this together. I also learned today that the officials will be wearing this DC patch in remembrance of Deb Carter on their jerseys. And you will see some of the officials here today in their white jerseys, and many of them have this patch on already. Again, a tribute to Deb and all her contributions. Deb was a spiritual person, and she played various roles at different times within her life. She took comfort in spiritual teaching, and many lessons were deeply personal. She loved to read works from inspirational leaders such as Desmond Tutu, Gandhi, Oprah, the Obamas, and many others. Their words often helped her make sense of the world around her and helped guide her thinking and approach to life. We would often catch up on FaceTime when my work took me outside of BC. She would share her reflections on situations and how her recent learning was shaping her approach to life. Dave, I know how much she treasured you and Joan. Her life was rich with memories of family adventures. You introduced her to the importance of service and giving back, which led her passion for volunteering through Special Olympics and officiating. What a special individual you and Joan created, nurtured, and supported physically and emotionally. This is an accomplishment that all parents aspire to. When Joan passed, I know the family lost a force that was powerful and strong. Deb certainly got those attributes from Joan, and she was devastated with the loss of her mom. We talked about being reunited with her mom, and Deb found some comfort in this. Deb desperately wanted to beat her cancer and fought valiantly. Unfortunately, it was so aggressive that despite treatments, it would not stop spreading. We talked about the full but short life she had. We talked about the importance of living fully, taking chances, and not waiting to tell people how much they mean to you. When the pain became unbearable, we talked about letting go. The last few days, she had so many visitors coming to say goodbye, emails from across the country from people's lives that she had touched. I read each and every one of these to her, and it helped to bring her peace. In the past 6 months, there were many hours for reflection. Deb shared with Steve and I, and perhaps some of you, she'd rather live a short but full life than a long, boring one. Deb, there was nothing boring about your life, and it certainly was not long enough for those of us you left behind. To use a sporting analogy, your life was well played. The lessons that you taught us and the legacy you've left is unforgettable. Deb saw the beauty of sunsets, the magic of the world around her, and the love of those she called family. Finally, Deb, as you asked me to do, I'm asking everyone, in your words, because we had time together, I have a notebook of things that Deb asked me to follow through on. And the following is a quote that I jotted down that she asked me to read when she passed. Please look after my dad, Alyssa, Steve, and Tyson. Be there for them, guide them, hug them, and help fill them with love. I wish I had a bit longer, but that wasn't meant to be. Everyone, please live your life to the fullest, and don't worry about me. I share this poem by David Harkins, titled She's Gone, which really reflects Deb's words. You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she's lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that she has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of love you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she is gone, or you can cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind and be empty and turn your back. Or you can do what she would want us to do. Open your eyes, love, and go on. Thank you.
An incredible woman and an incredible reflection, Cindy. Thank you so much. I believe that Deborah, even now, misses the very precious moments that she shared with you as a family and one-to-one. I further believe that relationships are eternal and that they never die. Deborah's bond with her daughter, her family, her friends, the many she worked with through Special Olympics to help them have a bigger and more fulfilled life was so strong. And it was Deborah's belief, as Cindy mentioned, that this strength would carry them through the rest of their lives. Now, a further powerful reading by Linda Ellis that I believe builds on the reading that Cindy did, truly speaks to who Deborah was. I trust you'll recognize her in these words, what was important to her and the impact that she had on others. And it also leaves us with an opportunity as we think of the rest of our own lives. It is called the dash. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the little dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth. And now only those who love her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For we never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger, and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. And if we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, knowing that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, will you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? Thank you, everyone. To further help us remember, know, and appreciate who Deborah was, the family now has a wonderful presentation of pictures to share with us. So let's watch and share her life and energy together. coming up? Thank you for your patience. Deb would not give up on this, and neither are we. So, so this time what we're going to do is we're actually going to move on a little bit here. I'm going to give you my closing words, and I trust that we will be able to have a slideshow come when it's time. So, with all that we've seen and will see, and what we know of Deborah, I trust that you'll agree that the following words, titled Afterglow, written by Carol Merkel, are what Deborah would hope from us now. So let's be reminded. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when my life is done. Thank you, Deb. Sorry, that was meant to, okay. Let me start again. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when life is done. I'd like to leave an echo whispering softly down the ways of happy times and laughing times and bright and sunny days. I'd like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun of happy memories that I leave when my life is done, which are incredible, happy memories and unlimited. So now, with these words and in our love, appreciation, and honoring of Deborah, let us now, with this same love, appreciation, and honor of her, release her and let her go, knowing that she will be seeing her mom and those she passed on before her, that passed on before her. And I would like to say that in spirit, she is always with you. So now the closing song is another beautiful one, this one by Josh Groban, You Raise Me Up. difficult song. I know that my heart, even with what I've come to know about Deb, just filled with appreciation, and I trust the same is with all of yours. And so in spite of any teasing, my heart goes out to each and every one of you at this really painful time. So I'm just going to give some final announcements as we continue to find the internet connection that is eluding us right now, and we're not able to put the video on just yet. So shortly before the more formal portion of our time honoring Deborah and celebrating the powerful, caring life that she lived, I have some very important closing thoughts to share with you on behalf of Deb's partner, Steve. He says, thank you to all of you that have come to celebrate Deb's amazing life. There are so many people to thank for so many things. Deb read and enjoyed every post, email, and card that she received. She loved when people would come over and talk. She loved when friends came over and took her out for tea and muffins. But most of all, she loved that she was still able to go to track meets as an official. So thank you to all those that made that happen. There are a few people that I need to make special note of. My little sister Anne, who came over to the hospital and then home the last week to take turns sitting with her all night. The Borsoy family, Cindy, Dennis, and their daughters Tess and Chelsea, who also came and visited Deb, made special food for her, read and created email responses when Deb could no longer, and are now helping me with sorting through Deb's vast clothing collection. Thank you to Dennis, who has sorted through thousands, yes, thousands of pictures for the 2 video montages. My deepest thanks go to Cindy, Deb's best friend for 30 years. On the evening of Deb's emergency room visit 6 months ago, she called Cindy to talk through the initial shocking diagnosis. As fate would have it, Cindy, an Ontario resident, was in town, preparing to head back home. She came directly to the hospital and has basically not left her side since. Putting her entire life on hold, Cindy has gone to every doctor appointment, every specialist appointment, every blood test, every MRI, every CT scan, and every chemo day, holding Deb's hand and offering her quiet, powerful words of encouragement. I will never be able to thank you enough for what you did for Deborah. Thank you, Cindy. And now, on behalf of the family, I have 2 very special requests. First is to point out that paper has been spread out in the entrance area, provided today for a very significant purpose, much more than a registry to indicate that you were here today, but rather the family asks that you write on these papers, one in a book and other on separate pages, a personal, meaningful memory or 2 of Deborah, along with a supportive comment to her daughter, Alyssa. If you know Deborah, more than anything else, she wants Alyssa to be fully supported throughout and beyond this difficult time. And this will help Deborah and her family do that. So please be sure that before leaving today, and I did notice that many of you were filling this paper out already, thank you. If you haven't yet, please take a moment to write these out for Alyssa. This book will be given to Alyssa as a gift to help her through this most painful, challenging time for her. Second, as you came in this afternoon, you may have seen the tables teeming with crafts, Deb's crafts. She got into crafting a couple of years ago, and it was a big part of her life during cancer treatment. please, please, on your way out, visit a craft table and take something home. Something that will keep Deborah in your heart each time that you look at it. Again, please, this is a serious request. You get it, right? Okay. Tessa and Chelsea will be policing, Tessa and Chelsea will be in the back helping you out, okay? This is really, really important to the family. And lastly, again, on behalf of the family, thank you so very much for your contributions and honoring Deborah in this and in being here today. All the very best to you. Blessings to you, everyone. Thank you. So, see? Thank you. Let's watch and remember together.
For all those times you stood by me, for all the truth that you made me see, for all the joy you brought to my life, for all the wrong that you made right, for every dream you made come true, for all the love I found in you, I
For my heart would break if you should leave and see me go. So I leave you softly, long before you miss me, long before your arms beg me to stay for one more love, or one more day. After all the years, I can't bear the tears to fall so softly as I leave you there. Softly, long before you kiss me, long before your arms can make me stay for one more hour, or one more day. After all the years, I can't bear the tears to fall so softly as I leave you there, as I leave you there, as I leave you
Wow, thank you, Dennis. Beautiful job. And so now the family invites everyone to come together, enjoy some refreshments, share some memories, and be together. Thank you again. Bye for now.
I can feel it.